Hi, I'm Dr. Sharwana Davis, a psychotherapist, here to provide you with my review of this week's episode of Married to Medicine. The reality television show is lots of fun, but it can also provide many teachable moments that we can apply to our lives. In this week's episode, I like to think of it as being full of facts and full of fun. The episode started off with just some great facts, starting with Dr.
Community, of
Jackie,
course,
and she was attending to her very famous patient. But she also, most importantly, that I liked, she dropped some facts around maternal health. In the state of Georgia in particular, there has really been a lot of attention around the mortality rate as it relates to maternal health. And so I was really happy that she highlighted that. I'll also be dropping a video a little bit later about maternal mental health. That has really been another crisis point in our state as well. So it was really good that she highlighted just the overall need, particularly for Black women as it relates to maternal health. So it was really good to get that highlighted in the episode. The other factual moment was around actually Dr. Simone's real life, and you saw the interaction between her and her husband about her two sons and when is it time to finally cut the cord. So you saw them navigating that very different set of opinions that they both have about when is the appropriate time to cut the cord in terms of financial support. So it was really nice to see that very real and, quite frankly, very raw conversation that they were having. I think that's a realistic thing that actually lots of parents are having. They're trying to figure out how to parent their adult children. And so being able to see that play out on the episode, I thought was really good. Dr. Simone usually does a good job of realistically showing her life. So that was good to watch. Now let's go over to the fun part of the episode, and that was the funeral that we all had a chance to witness. It was full of all kinds of theatrics, right? And it really was about accountability. So, of course, the funeral facilitator was Phaedra, and then the main focus of the funeral was actually Quad, which was quite interesting, right, to watch that interaction. It was really symbolic regarding how to navigate accountability and how to mend relationships. So that was really, I thought it was really interesting to watch, and it raised some very, very teachable moments for all of us. So the focus really is about accountability. And we saw in that exchange, we saw Quad interact with Toya, right? We saw that exchange. We also saw both Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly also have an exchange. And it brings back the central question: what do you do from an accountability standpoint? How do you hold yourself and others accountable? Well, accountability actually has three parts. And we saw this kind of play out in this week's episode as well. The first thing is really taking ownership of what your actions are, what you did, what you thought, all of those things, really owning your behavior. And so that came up, particularly between the interaction between Quad and Toya, that really played out. And then the second part of accountability is doing some reflection, figuring out the why, right? The behaviors are one thing, but going deeper to figure out, well, why did this occur? Why did I behave this way? Or why did this person behave that way? And that's really where the work begins. And that is the why level. And then the third part of accountability is actually taking action. So that means actually figuring out your why and then making the corrections so that whatever it is, that it doesn't happen again. And when it comes to taking accountability, just because you apologize or you want to move forward doesn't mean that the other person will want to move forward. And we really saw that play out between Quad and Toya. We saw Quad really ready to move forward, and we saw Toya still feeling hurt by what she perceived as some past transgressions. And so for her, it's really difficult to move forward because she feels so hurt by what has happened in the past in this episode. So it was really interesting to watch. It'll be interesting to see what happens between those two during the rest of the season. I'm looking forward to what happens between those two, as well as Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly, because we saw their exchange and their interaction as well. Hopefully, the ladies will all find their way. I think they're all fantastic on the show. They are just wonderful demonstrations about different people that we may meet in our lives. And they provide us all with a way to figure out, just by watching them, what to do and what not to do in our own lives. So they've been really great instruments for all of our learning. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I look forward to reading them, and I look forward to also seeing the next episode of Married to Medicine.